The absolute idiocy, stupidity, incompetence of the MAGA movement is unparalleled in U.S. history. And I think we can generally have a consensus that Marjorie Taylor Greene is crazier than a shithouse rat. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene outdid herself yesterday. After the death of the Pope, this is what she posted on social media. Today, there were major shifts in global leaderships. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God. Are you kidding me? The Pope died, and you are talking about him being evil because he didn't have contempt for migrants, because he believed in equality? Like, even for Marjorie Taylor Greene, that is a new low bar. I'm not Catholic. I don't have any feelings about the Pope, but I do know he is the head of the Catholic Church, and people are mourning his death. But of course, empathy is in short supply at MAGA. And then one thing from the Easter egg roll, we couldn't move on. You know, Trump's corporate Easter egg roll, that he had corporate sponsors and he spent $15,000 on eggs. And he is showing the kids at the Easter egg roll his trading card of him with the attempted assassination, I use that term loosely because we still have no evidence that that was actually real. But this man is running around showing children at an Easter egg roll his trading card of when he alleges he was assassinated. Now this, again, it's just complete idiocy. These people are so dumb. It's just unbelievable. And you cannot talk about incompetence and idiocy without mentioning Pete Hegseth, who we know was again on Signal texting war plans, which he says, well, they're not war plans. Well, they're telling you what kind of military apparatus is going to drop bombs on other people at what time. And so yesterday we got news or leaks from the White House. Ross Story reports the White House is seeking a new leader for the Department of Defense in the wake of Secretary Pete Hegseth's latest controversies. No shit. Here's the thing. How bad do you have to be for this Trump administration to be putting out feelers for a new Secretary of Defense? Now, we don't know if this is going to happen, if Trump was just floating it, because of course Trump is, oh, I support you, I support you, I support you, until he doesn't. But this is a guy, Pete Hegseth, that has been alleged to have sexually abused women. He's had 3 wives, baby mamas, the whole nine, alleged to be an untreated alcoholic, was a Fox News host and in the National Guard. That was what his qualifications are. You have people coming out that have worked for him in close positions saying it's a complete shit show. He has no idea what he's doing. Well, no shit, because he ran 2 nonprofits into the ground. He's a white supremacist per his tattoos. But listen to Pete Hegseth this morning, because this is so rich and it just proves irony is dead when it comes to MAGA.
When you dismiss people who you believe are leaking classified information, and again, the investigation is ongoing and that will take time, and when the evidence produced, it will go to DOJ, why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have to try to sabotage the agenda of the president or the secretary? So once a leaker, always a leaker.
Okay, pause it right there. I actually agree with Pete Hegseth on this point. Once a leaker, always a leaker. He invites the editor of The Atlantic on the last Signal group chat where he was discussing dropping bombs and other drone strikes against the Houthis. Now we have him with his wife, his personal attorney, and a close group of friends. He's sitting there acting like we need this big investigation to see who's leaking. The leaks are coming from you. You are the person leaking everything because you're putting it on Signal, because you're not going through the proper channels with secure information, because you are wholly incompetent. I don't know why your wife goes to these defense meetings with you. I don't know why she's on Signal group chats. I think it's weird. The whole thing is weird. He sucks. There is no reality that every Republican and every Democrat in Congress should be asking for his resignation. Any other president would have already canned his ass after the first Signal chat. So we're still sitting there. They're saying they're putting out feelers, but are they? Who knows? Because incompetence is their bread and butter. Here we have Mark Kelly regarding this type of security breach, if he were to have done it.
Senator Kelly, when you were a Navy pilot, what would have happened to you if you had shared a battle plan with a family member?
Yeah, Lawrence, I would have gotten fired. I probably would have been prosecuted under the UCMJ for doing that. This is the most sensitive information we have. They say it's not classified. Of course, this kind of information is classified. Launch time, the platform, as you mentioned, F-18 Hornet, time over targets, information about weapon systems, where they're going. You've got to, this information needs to be so closely held, because if it leaks out, it puts people's lives at risk. And I'll tell you what, when during the first Gulf War, where I was flying combat missions over Iraq, not in any world would I have thought that Dick Cheney was going to release details about our strike. This is unacceptable. And we saw this coming with this guy, right? He wasn't in any way up to the task, up to the job of being the Secretary of Defense.
Thank you. This man should be prosecuted, whether it's just apt incompetence, or if he is trying to sabotage the military. He has no business running the Department of Defense. He is absolutely, totally unqualified, and his behavior has been treasonous. And why there is not a huge uprising in both houses of Congress is an absolute mystery to me. I don't expect Donald Trump to do the right thing. I don't necessarily expect many Republicans, these national security lovers. I mean, Fox News would have to be taken to the emergency room on oxygen if this was going on under the Biden administration. But we're all just sitting here interviewing Pete Hegseth on Fox News like this is normal. It is not normal, people. This is not normal. This man should be prosecuted. He absolutely should be removed from the Department of Defense. Okay, and just when you think the idiocracy of the Trump administration, it's just, it can't get worse. They're such idiots, it cannot get worse. Christy Nome says, hold my beer. Now, I don't know how this happens. Okay, Caitlin Collins report, a thief stole DHS Secretary Christy Nome's bag this weekend, including her driver's license, medication, apartment keys, passport, DHS access badge, makeup bag, blank checks, and about $3,000 in cash. Okay, number one, she has security. I mean, she's running around in her bulletproof vest and her guns. She has Secret Service detail for security. What on earth is going on that the person charged with protecting the homeland, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, gets her purse stolen? How does that happen? Like, you have to try to be this stupid. It's just unbelievable that these people are so incompetent. She's running around with her DHS access, her passport, $3,000, which $3,000, that seems like a lot for somebody that has full-time protection. Why would she need that much money? But that's not the point. The point is, these people should not be trusted with Homeland Security, defense secrets, military, nothing. I mean, Trump's running through the economy like his hair's on fire. Elon Musk is the biggest dipshit. He's losing his own empire because he jumped on the Trump train. It's crazy, y'all. It's just crazy. During these ever-changing times, it is more important than ever to take care of yourself on a cellular level. And that's why we at IHIP are so pleased to recommend to you OneSkin products. OneSkin proprietary OS01 is the first peptide scientifically proven to target zombie cells, those dysfunctional, sentient cells that speed up aging at the cellular level. You can only find OS01 in OneSkin's moisturizer, sunscreen, and now in their latest product, OS01 hair. And this is so important because as you get older, you start losing hair. The Daily Scalp Serum tackles those same zombie cells, but instead of targeting lines and wrinkles, it combats the aging cells in your hair follicles to reactivate your natural growth. It's perfect for anyone dealing with hair loss, thinning, or shedding, or if you just want thicker and denser hair. In a 3-month clinical study, they found real improvements in hair density, fullness, and overall scalp health. Try OS01 Hair or any of OneSkin's products with 15% off your first purchase. Use code IHIP at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code IHIP. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin and scalp with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Okay, Laura Loomer, I would not normally have a clip with Laura Loomer because she is a conspiracy theorist bottom feeder. But less than a month ago, she was in the White House giving Donald Trump national security advice, and he fired advisors after his visit. So she's talking about what's going on in the Trump administration. Here she goes.
Who would you fire if you could? Like, who would you tell him to fire next if you could?
I don't know. It's probably not appropriate to say that on air. Should probably
you just suggested that someone who was involved in the tariff operation.
Well, I mean, look, it is kind of stupid, don't you think? I mean, you and I'd say, are probably on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Don't people think it's kind of stupid that somebody working for President Trump told him to enact 10% tariffs on a bunch of penguins? I mean, I don't think that it makes you anti-Trump for admitting this or saying it. It's just basic things like this that people try to brush under the rug and act like, oh, you know, it's no big deal. We're all just one big happy family at the White House. Everybody gets along. It's just not true. They don't get along. The advisors don't get along with each other. The heads of agencies don't get along with each other. Well, I mean, look, there's all these stories that you hear about people having fights, and then they ask about it during the press briefings, and people say, oh, that's fake news. I mean, I don't think it's fake news, personally. I don't.
Okay. First of all, I like how the question was posed, who would you advise him to fire next? Because we know she worked her magic on national security. Okay, how about this? Nobody believes that the Trump administration gets along. You have the island of misfit toys that are corrupt and moralless, all trying to work together. You have Donald Trump, who is the absolute most belligerent, bullying, malignant narcissist leading the charge, and it trickles down. You've got Stephen Miller, who, honest to goodness, is so deplorable. You have all these yes men, all these beta males licking his feet. And it's no wonder that they're all fighting and infighting and taxing penguins, because everybody in his administration is incompetent and a dipshit. And just wanted to briefly leave off on the courts and the Supreme Court have been coming out and protecting the Constitution of the United States. And Donald Trump doesn't like that. But one thing I want to point out is this was his Lie Social post where he attacks the Supreme Court. Here we go. I'm doing what I was elected to do, remove criminals from our country. Then go. If you're taking criminals from our country, go. See ya, you're the criminal. But the courts don't seem to want me to do that. My team is fantastic, doing an incredible job. However, they're being stymied at every turn by even the U.S. Supreme Court, which I have great respect for, but which seemingly doesn't want me to send violent criminals and terrorists back to Venezuela. Dude, you're not giving them due process. You're saying they're criminals. There is no proof. There is no evidence. You are deporting people with no criminal record. They are protecting people on the grounds of constitutional due process. Shut up. Quit lying about it. The reason the Supreme Court is going against you is because you are breaking the law and denying people constitutional rights. So I could go on about the rest of that tweet, but I want to point out to everybody that it says we can no longer give everyone a trial. Okay, so now he doesn't even want, he just wants to say, I think you're a criminal. I said you're a rapist. You have to be excommunicated to El Salvador. This is so dangerous. This man is so dangerous. And this, I might add, is quite the 180 from last week when he was saying he won 9-0 in the Supreme Court. This guy is whiplash. He's a nut. Everything in this administration is dangerous. But now, Trump, who's showing children his alleged assassination greeting cards, wants to start deporting people without a trial. So there you go. That's what's up in the incompetence of MAGA. Stick with us for more news.